you today? Great, thank you. So, everyone, welcome to At America. We are the U.S. Embassy American Center here in Indonesia, and our mission is to provide everyone to promote about the United States through our events and facilities. And hi, my name is Meriska Putri, your MC for today's exciting event. Our event for today is talking about how to write clearly, structure your ideas, and level up your academic writing skills. Welcome to At America Academy, Academic Writing Starter Pack. Buat tepuk tangan. And now, before we start our event for today, we have online quiz for all of you who joining us via online platform. And the question is, which of the following does not help improve academic writing skills? Is it A, planning ahead, B, writing impromptu, C, learning to prioritize, or D, using introduction and conclusion? What do you think? You can submit your answer to our social media platforms, and if you can guess it correctly, you will get live shout out at the end of this event. To begin the event, I will pass the stage to our facilitator for today. He is the lecturer, Academic English and Applied Linguistics. Please welcome Dr. Christianus Wayan Eka Budiartha, MA. Buat tangan.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Yeah, it's really nice to see you all here. I mean, some of my students, for example, this is a new atmosphere. Yeah, it's not in class, but we have new special moment. Oh, okay. My name is once again Christianus Wayan Eka Budiartha. My friends, my students, my colleagues like to call me Eka. That's really easy, yeah, because if you come to Bali, lots of people names Wayan, right? So just call me Eka. And tonight, yeah, we would like to, discuss something probably which is a bit intriguing issue or something which is intimidating to some extent, but that's really important for you. I'm very happy. I feel absolutely thrilled to stand here in front of all of you today. And this event, thank you very much for Ed America. Thank you very much for IVIS and also in collaborations to Sampurna University. And we'll talk about something related to academic writing. So best practice of academic writing. Okay. So before we start further, okay, then have you heard this word then, the ivory tower? What is that ivory tower, especially related to academia? Ivory tower is considered something which is separated or not at, that we are not doing something that regular like what we have in daily activities, right? But this ivory tower is not something bad actually for academia, because this is the challenge. In academia, when you enter academia, it's not only, for example, you're studying something or writing something as it is, showing what you know already know, but more to that is actually you learn how to think critically, yeah? You learn how to, observe, you learn how to share your thought together with, for example, what people who already discuss something, the scholars in this case. So today we'd like to learn about this. Then academia is considered as purposeful, disconnected from everyday life. But again, even that's considered connected, yes, maybe true, but it's not that really disconnected. Yeah, because that's always something good. And what makes it different, of course, then, when you enter this academia, and that's why academic writing is very crucial for all of you, then you need to learn something which is not only on the surface, which is not only something related to writing itself, but deep down over there. Okay, now when we talk more about academic essay, there's a formula for that. Yeah, so the formula, a successful academic essay or writing, in this case related to your ideas, their ideas, plus connections. So your ideas in this case is always related to your original thinking. Yeah, your something that you have in your mind, your own analysis, your thesis, and your own interpretation. While in academic writing, this is the challenge that it's not enough to share what you have in mind. You have to also consider other scholars or other people who said something already before. So that's why then their ideas related to the scholar's work, key thinkers in your field, also research and any discussions among the scholars itself. Now, the key later on, what we have to do with academic writing is how will you try to synthesize that? So this is actually the one then. How to go with the critical engagement through dialogue as well as development. So that's actually the idea, the main or the general formula that we need to know about successful academic writing or successful essay. We would like to dive into in this one before. But before that, I would like you to join this AHA slide. Probably you can scan this. Can you share what is your biggest challenge in academic writing? I would like to learn from you. Okay. So 21. Oh, finding relevant sources. Yes, yes. Grammars, connecting words. Yes. Finding research gap. Very good. Ideas. We would like to talk about ideas definitely today, right? So make an interesting hook. Yep. Okay, what else then? Yeah. Where to start? I think that's very common, yeah, for many people. Even, for example, like for advanced writers, sometimes where to start, what to do at first with the blank sheet is also a challenge, though. Okay? Wow, very good. So, yeah, mostly I think the idea related to where to start, what to do at first, right? So, well, thank you very much. So, I think that's a good thing actually that we can learn. We would like to explore that further later on. Okay, so this is the next one. The continuations of what I said before with the academia itself. There are two main approach actually that people like to do. I don't know later on what is your own approach. So the first approach, then some people like to start writing on their own. So they write down their own ideas first, determine their thought without external influence. That's the first. The second one, oh, that's actually, yeah, this one is actually examining other scholars probably later on by comparing and contrast with other viewpoints, but that's going to be next. The second one is scholar first model. So this one is actually examining scholar ideas first. So read something. It could be like a journal. So this is, for example, if you learn this in the context of language learning, this is what we call input competence. So input competence, something that you read, something that you listen, something that you watch, will become a basis for you to produce something. So that's output competence later on. Someone will not be able to write down, to speak, or to talk something without reading, without enough input competence. So that's actually the key. So scholar first model means examining scholars' ideas first, get the first grasp on major ideas as well as the theories, and then later on develop their opinion or your opinion by focusing on your belief and evidence by using that. Okay? Nah, I know all of you have been started working with academic writing. Yeah, some of you already been at least past composition 1 at the moment. Some of you are attending composition 2. Okay, I want to know which model do you think or do you prefer to work with? Is that the scholar first model or student first model? Wow, we so far what is winning is the scholar first model. Wow, very good. 22 in compared to 8. Okay, I want to get, for example, someone to say something. What do you like to read before you start writing? Anyone can share something, probably? Can you raise your hand, probably, who is here? What do you like to read? What do you like to access as the scholar first model before you start writing? Oh, yeah, very good. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Before I write my own writing, I usually read articles, books, and a lot of YouTube videos about that. Yeah,
I see.
thank you.
So article books, because something which is related to writing or
Yeah.
reading also, there's something which is related to textbooks. Yeah. So textbook is considered as intensive reading, while other readings, for example, like magazines, journals, what is that, and books, novels, this is what we call extensive reading. Somehow reading for fun, but that's really important actually to improve your language competence. Thank you very much. Yeah. So we got that. Thank you. So mostly, all of you agreed that scholar first model should be the first one. More to that instead of student first model. Now, my question is, which one is better? Which one is better? Anyone knows? Anyone wants to say something? Which one is better? Actually, both are okay. Yeah. So depends on the topic, depends on the context. Actually, then you can create, you can design something. You can start. Uh, if you think, for example, you're going to write down something which is more genuine to you, which is more to start with something personal, then probably student first model will be the first. But later on, if you are going to write down something based on a certain topic, then you need to read something. So read an article, definitely. Read a journal, academic journal. That's a challenge for many students, but that's actually important for all of us to know. Very good. Now, this is the next one. Acing the academic essay by essential goals. So when you write down an academic writing, it's not enough just to produce that, but what to do in order to make your writing become credible as well as interesting. So that's the key, right? So to write a credible essay, of course, then you need to understand the prompt. What is the instruction? Somehow then people don't understand actually very well the instruction. The prompt focus, because by understanding the prompt, then you can be focused with what you're writing. Also cite the key thinkers in this case, because that's related to the one before then, yeah, the scholars. And you go beyond the assignment. This is actually what professors or your lecturer like to read, honestly, because you go beyond what is just, for example, considered as normal or just something that you just accomplished. No. So, for example, then if at least you need to cite from one journal article, but you do that 2 or 3, that's gonna be something important. Very good for that. Yeah. So parts of this and proofread thoroughly. That's also important. Yeah. So well, I know there's no one perfect. Sometimes there are some problems with that, but as far as you read that carefully, as far as you proofread that, then I think lots of good points actually that you can get from that. Yeah, in terms of spelling, grammar errors. Now, the next one, how to make your writing become an interesting essay. Yeah, sometimes being or to write that a little bit controversial, which is a little bit different with the normal one, could be also interesting. Yeah, which is, well, give you opportunity to write down with a little bit different stand with what people have in the general. Later on, probably there are some examples that I can show you from probably the thesis statement and so on that we would like to write down. Experiment with style. For example, vary your sentence structure. Because if you can vary your sentence structure, that shows your knowledge of vocabulary also good. Your lexical knowledge is good. Yeah, and those who read a lot mostly then will be able to vary their sentence better in this case. And the last one is challenge assumptions, because in this case, for example, then after reading from scholars, after reading from someone, then you try to challenge, you try to questions on that. That's actually the uniqueness, the key point, for example, if you want to later on write down something. Yeah, especially if you want to apply for scholarship or you want to pursue your study later on, parts of that is also something which is important to be considered. Okay, so so I would like to invite you to another activity. So then it's not only me talk to all the time, but again, let's join that. There will be some questions from what we have discussed will be given to you. Hopefully, then by doing that, also you are also engaged and also working that together with this. Okay. Yeah, we've got everyone's already in. Can we start? Okay, let me start then. Be ready. I know this time there's no kinds of like a direct reward. I don't know if there's kinds of like a reward later on that we can see, but let's see. Okay. What are the three components of a successful essay? Do you still remember that? Is that introductions, body, conclusion? Is that research, thesis, grammar? Or your ideas, their ideas, and connections? Okay, 3, 2, 1. We'll see. Okay, 27. Majority of you are correct, but still 15. 15 made a mistake. Yes, of course, there's an introductions, body on conclusions. That's actually parts in the essay. But the question is, in order to be successful or to write down a successful essay, of course, you need to consider, yeah, your voice or your ideas. Their ideas in this case is, for example, from scholars, right? From other people. And then connections is actually how will you synthesize that? How will you try to combine what you have learned from others in and also with your own ideas in this case. So that's actually the key point. Okay? There will be some other questions later on, so be ready. Okay. Next. Oh. Who is Rex? Is Rex here? Anyone names Rex? Or outside, someone which is online, probably? Yeah, so far. Alicia, the second. Thank you. Okay, very good. So let's see the next one. Now, this is what I meant before then, right? So learning, understanding the prompt is also very crucial. Yeah. So without reading the prompt, without understanding the prompt clearly, then lots of issues, lots of problems will, well, I mean, that happens later on, especially related to the focus. Many of us just read the instruction just in a glance without reading that carefully, without knowing or understanding what actually being instructed. So, and never reread that again. So, then, well, that's actually situations where problems might happen, yeah? Because what is important, we need to know, for example, what types of writing is that? Is that a persuasive writing? Is that an argumentative? Oh, argumentative is persuasive, yeah. Descriptive writing, compare and contrast, cause and effects, or something that being instructed over there. Also, what is the central issue, which is related to what problem that you need to address? Again, good writing needs also your skills in good reading, good comprehensions in reading. And also whether you need outside sources. As I said before, their ideas is very crucial, so that's why then outside sources will be there, definitely. Whether is it books, mostly journal articles being questions, and other sources, probably like from websites, yeah, which is also important. Documentation style. Are you familiar with MLA or APA? APA is very common, yeah. American Psychological Associations, very good. Okay, how many quotes are there? That's also important. And whether is it from readings? So some of my students at the moment you are learning about poem, yeah. Later on something that you need to write down to quote from the poem itself. That's also become a good point for you to write down your essay. And the last one, physical or electronic, because the submission is also important. Some professors prefer to have you to submit physically, but for me, because everything is digital, I do not use lots of printing at the moment, but I prefer to do that with online or electronic. So that's actually important, yeah, understanding the prompt. Next, nah, this is types of essay. Some of you are still familiar. I don't know, I mean that, what did you learn while being students in high school? What kinds of essay did you learn before, right? And then how is it different once you become university students? There are some changes. Of course, then, as I said before, there are probably some informative essay that you learn in high school, some persuasive, how to or instruction which is related to the process, personal or reflective, analytical, and the last one, compare and contrast. Maybe there are some others. But when you become university students, what happens actually that uh, the professors want you to mostly like combine them all together. And what is most important, persuasive should always be there because your idea is very crucial. That's actually more important and getting become the issue and become something that we need to pay attention, especially for higher education level in this case. So that's types of academic essay. Now we would like to also start. This is the questions before, yeah, when you ask how to start, where to start. I don't know what to do, how to start. So the challenge, the biggest challenge indeed, for example, when you have the blank sheet, or for example, you don't know what to do. For example, when your pointers, for example, over there, I don't know. Sometimes it sounds easy, but sometimes also difficult, right? It sounds simple probably to start, but maybe, yeah, but that's wrong, yeah. So even as I said before then, experienced writers, sometimes they find difficulties in order to start at first. Now, what to do? So we would like to discuss that a little bit here. There are many ways to start writing a paper. And again, there's no one single right way to write that, because lots of things that we can do, lots of activities that we can do. Okay. Yeah. At first they said that, well, you don't need to worry. We don't need to worry actually about what we have to write, but just go first, and then later on we can start edit that or polish that. But yeah, we will start that first. Now, actually, this one is very popular, but I don't know. Many of you, have you kinds of like familiar with any activities of free writing? Or for example, when you do your assignment, you started to think how to work with certain structure? Free writing, actually, yeah, the good things is actually you can start writing without censorship. Yeah, you can just pour your ideas on the paper or, for example, on a computer without worrying about, for example, if there's any issues, problems related to punctuations, related to the connections between ideas, you just go and write that. So again, what to do in the free writing, definitely you go with activities that you write whatever comes to your mind, and then later on keep writing. For example, somehow it sounds like a bit off topic or stupid, but you just go and write that and let the idea goes together with the process of writing. Now, but what we need to do, I think this is common also, yeah. Somehow people afraid to make mistakes. Some people probably say that, oh, this is not appropriate. So that's why don't start judging of what you have just started at first, because that probably can discourage you in order to continue your writing, yeah. So quality, scope, and so on, that will be later on that you can work with this. I know I said this is not something easy. I also find difficulties to some extent, right? Even, for example, when I go with a free writing, but this is our own, all of our issues related to this, and we work together and keep working. Now, free writing itself, there are three types strategies. First, then you try to what we call focus free writing. So you understand already what is the topic, you remember the topic, and then you try to write down something that connected to the topic. The second one is the free writing. This is totally open-ended. You can write down whatever you feel over there without any limitations. The last one is time free writing. So for example, like 10, 15 minutes, you try to keep focus on writing on something, but the time itself is like a little pressure giving to you, but that helps you actually to improve yourself because you are forced to write down during that time, right? Okay. So that's actually parts of the free writing strategies. Yeah. Mostly like, I don't know, I mean that these kinds of situations will be, I mean, some of you who loves write down your blog, I don't know, blog is probably something which is unique, yeah. I know some friends love writing blogs, and then they can write down lots of good blogs actually, and share something good thought actually, and that start from free writing at first too. Okay, so free writing, we will start with that, and I know lots of things that we can do with the free writing, even free writing with our class. Okay, so now with this class, I think you have familiar with this, and right? So even probably I asked you to share last time, sit in the groups, and then start thinking about what do you think is interesting from your poem. Then there are some clue that you can have look here then. So for example, like there's a theme, there's a setting, speaker, tone, some figurative language, imagery, yeah. So this one's actually a little clue given to you, but even though you try to identify what appears in poem. So by the time, for all of you, we are studying in the class actually at the moment about composition too, and then we talked about literary analysis, and this one is actually our starting point for discussions, yeah. This poem is quite interesting, I think, yeah, because telling us lots of good things about natural power or authority, yeah. Still remember, yeah, Ale? Okay. So all of this is about the eagle, telling us about the eagle. Nah, so write your topic. So actually parts of the free writing in this case is actually writing a topic, but the things is put the topic in the central of the page. So this is poem. Next time the class, yeah, what we have also done also is not only about poem. We would like to learn or write down about short story. And have you read this? Have you learned about this before? This is a bit about old, yeah, fate of Ophelia. This Ophelia story, actually, it's a play written by Shakespeare, telling about woman which has problem actually because she's a noble woman, has difficulties in terms of expressing herself. She's also in love with someone, a prince named Hamlet, but cannot pursue that because of the influence of uh, her father as well as her brother. So paternalistic in this case, well, influence a lot. So that's why then finally she decided suicide because of this. So tragic story for that. Now, if you would like to discuss about this, something that you can go actually thinking about, who is Ophelia? For example, young and pretty, another idea, rotten in Denmark, seems sad, brother, for example, overbearing, and then affair with Hamlet, controlled by everyone, kill herself, dead too much in their business. So many things actually around this story that you can start after, for example, thinking about the story. So that's parts of the free writing. Okay, so I think free writing, I know this is mostly then people, I don't know, how many of you have done free writing or sometimes doing free writing? Probably you can raise your hand here. Not many, I believe, right? So because, oh, you do some. Okay, very good. Interesting. Yeah. For what purpose actually that you have the free writing, if I may know? Scientific. So what do you start actually with the free writing, if you can share a little bit?
Well, actually, it's quite long
Uh-huh.
for giving a story. Actually, we have been doing a project
Okay.
in biomedical science with my friends. So
Mhm.
we started writing about very academic. Yeah, and
So that's using lots of technical words in this case?
absolutely yes.
Yeah, so okay, so that's well, for that kinds of case, of course, then the writing is not for people in general, for not for laypersons. So, for example, those who are not from medical, for example, if they read that, they probably don't know that. So another challenge. But the things is actually depends on the purpose. But yeah, maybe to start that, you try to list out the keywords, right? So because that's actually the key point for that kinds of process of writing. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll continue. Now, here is the next of steps, I think, how to start your essay or how to write down academic writing. So this is brainstorming. Brainstorming actually close to free writing, but that's a little bit more organized. Yeah. So you will write all the ideas that comes in mind. Yeah, similar to free writing, it will be a bit more organized than free writing. So using two parts of your brain, left brain and right brain. So we'd like to discuss a little bit more how to do, for example, lists and outlines, question and answers, reports as questions, okay? Idea map or web, cluster, T-chart, Venn diagram. I know this is terms then, yeah, but I believe some of these are also not something very new for all of you. Okay, so let's see. Now, this is the first idea map, yeah.
So what you have to do, for example, you go with your topic, and then there are some points, there are at least 3 major points that you can write down over there, and then in the circle around that, and also add some supporting information in smaller circles. So this map will help to outline your idea and also see the connections between them. So that's actually the good point for this. Yeah, it helps you to get they said that the ideas flowing and makes converting them to a linear paragraph or breeze. Okay, yeah, of course, then there are lots of things. I'll give you one examples of the idea map. This one, for example, if you want to write down brainstorming an essay on wage increases for restaurant workers. So there are some key points. So here is the main topic. So restaurant workers' wages, yes, higher. So something that you can develop later on, for example, they work hard, means that the workers work hard, lots of students in these jobs, for example, and also health and safety would improve. That's become an issue also, or better employees for restaurants. So these 4 key points, in reality, of course, then later on that you can develop into paragraphs. So I think this kinds of activity is also considered how to start at first. Okay? So that's the one. Now, this is what we call T-chart strategy. The T-chart strategy is being used for a compare and contrast essay, because then you can see the topic directly and also the idea, all of them together over there. Okay? So pro and cons, comparison, contrast, proponents and opponents assignment, because it will tell us, immediately the connections between differences, ideas, and topics. I don't know, any of you love writing or paying attention with pop culture? For example, I'll give you examples on this. Anyone knows what is this? Peter Griffin. Any of you watched the movie? That's part of pop culture. And Homer Simpsons in the Simpsons. That one is the Family Guy. Do you know the difference? They are almost the same, but there are some difference if you watch the movie. But again, it's not just for the sake of watching the movies in this case, but later on, if you try to make an essay or a writing to compare one to another, then you can try to do like this. So both of them are, considered idiot, fat, lazy, but, Peter, spend lots of time in the bar, while Homer, for example, spend lots of time with Mouse, and also Homer also does something good to Lisa, while Peter always mean to his daughter Meg, and so on, which is totally different. There are something which is similar, but something which is different in this case. So you can see that directly. Okay? So that's part of what's so-called by T chart before. So we'll try to compare that. I don't know, sometimes when you try to make a choice also, it depends on, for example, where to study, what to do. And we try to make a comparisons between, A and B and so on, right? So then finally you come up with the decisions also. So in writing also the same. So this is what we can do in order to go with one of the brainstorming itself. Okay, next, this is diagram Venn. Diagram Venn. This is good in order also to compare ideas, concept, but what is better also think about the uniqueness of A and uniqueness of B, and what is the share trait over there. Before, in the T chart, we just put that left and right. We don't really see actually what are the similarity over there, but just write that down on the list. But here we can put that together. Of course, then the case with Peter Griffin and Homer Simpson, actually, we can put similar like this. But again, then this is more to comparing and contrast. I have one example also for this Venn diagram. I don't know if you are familiar with this movie, 10 Things I Hate About You. That's popular in about 1990s movie, yeah? Yeah. That's, you know that. Okay. So, which is really good, actually. And there's two sisters, actually, yeah? Two sisters, and then their father, in this case mostly, then very protective. This one, The Taming of the Shrew, actually written by Shakespeare, which is similar. So, what ideas are similar between this literature? So, The Taming of the Shrew and this one, 10 Things I Hate About You. I love this movie also because at the end, then it's very touching, successful. What do you call it? The happy ending finally, but not really in the taming of the shrew. Then, yeah. So, father, which is very protective, do not give opportunity to for her daughter actually to get along together with a boy or someone because of protecting from pregnancy, actually, all of that. And yeah, he is really afraid of that. But at the end, with 10 things I hate about you, then finally the father give permission, which is really good. Yeah. So then these kinds of compare and contrast what we can do also. So what happens, what's unique from the taming, yeah, and what's unique from the 10 things, and what are there together, yeah. So parts of that. So this is where to start. Yeah, this is where to start. Okay, next. Nah, this is this is for, I think, the most challenging. Yeah, for example, because it's like a reporter. Reporter will start with the questions, lots of questions. Yeah, 5W 1H. So who, what, when, where, why, how, and the last one, so what? This is also unique. So, reporters, this is reporters' questions. You will get ideas before you start writing a little bit deeper, yeah? Because, again, then, by having that idea, then you can get more, that detailed informations. Because with who, you will not only ask who is the person, but who else involved also, who is affected, and who would care about that. So there's another aspect that you need to consider also with that. The same thing like, what is the topic? Yeah, so topic, what are the implications, what are the outcomes, when will the issue be important, is it contemporary and pressing, and so on. So that's actually when. The same thing with where, why, and how. So this is very crucial. Now, what about if you cannot answer? This is related to, for example, at the moment, the challenge of writing, where AI is around us, to check whether your writing is also, not just really or only rely on AI. If you can answer these questions, means that you're there. Yeah. So it means that you're not just writing on something just based on AI or, for example, from the tools, but you understand what you're writing, and later on you are able to explain that further. If you cannot answer that, then probably that's an issue with your writing also. So this is very crucial. Reporter questions on this. Something that we can do to check. So that's why later on for our class also, it's not going to be, for example, enough for you to write, but there will be some presentation. Then that presentations will become the point related to reporter questions on this. Okay? Very good. So next, this is also I think this one is the most important question to address in academic writing. For example, you want to discuss about the, what is that? social media, uh, s- uh, social media has changes or change in terms of the algorithm at the moment, right? So social media algorithm has changing recently. Nah, well, that's the informations. But next, if you ask, so what? Now, in this case, then you can explain further why, what is the impact of these changes? For example, that makes you aware of, for example, like what to do with the social media, not easily to post it that or think twice of what you have to post, or certain issues that you need to learn. Some of you, for example, really love reading or knowing about politics. Yeah, parts of that. So that's actually something that you can explain more after, for example, the question, so what in this case? Now, once again, so what means that your answer is what we call that a smoking guns. If the answers to the questions is compelling, then you've already set your essay for success, right? So these also kinds of questions being asked for you if you want to pursue your study abroad, definitely. Who is affected? What is the impact? Why should readers, for example, care? And why your idea significant or great value for the readers? Okay? Once again, so what related to persuasion, something that always being asked mostly in higher education level. For example, if you want to write down an academic essay, this one mostly being underlined. So what questions convincingly, and your essay will have purpose, they said that, significance and values to the readers. Okay? Nah, this is the other one. This is a little bit, I think, traditional, yeah, talking about simple but powerful, yet powerful linear strategies. There's list on the left, outline on the right. List is mostly then you just generate your idea in order to make it organized. While when you go to the outline, you go with, for example, the structure. And writing, academic writing is indeed should go through this process. And I really appreciate all your process. So later on, after, for example, we go with our discussions that, this week about some brainstorming related to your poem, for example, then you should go with an outline, what you are going to write down. And the development from your outline, your first draft, second draft until final draft will show how well you have worked with that then, right? So that's actually something that we can see from lists and outlines. So the benefits of this approach is actually, well, this is easy, quick, and good to create, but also helped us to identify the gaps and in thinking. So we see the list and also can also be organized by certain priority. Yeah. While in the outline, you can see that over there, yeah, it shows essay structure clearly. Make sure that the flow, the logical flow is there also, and easy to rearrange sections. Okay, I will stop a little bit now. I want you to join this. Which brainstorming technique do you use most? I would like to learn, I would like to listen from you. Maybe the reasons or what situations that you have done. So here also just now talking about the free writing, but now about brainstorming. Now, probably in what context, in what situations that have you used this? Oh, mind mapping is the highest. T-chart. Okay, free writing. Okay, I want to learn from T-chart first. Who said T-charts? Anyone? Anyone here? Probably wants to share something, or someone's online. Online, yeah. Interesting. This is something unique though. Someone from mind mapping. Anyone here? In what context did you do with the mind map? Or web in this case? Someone, please? I believe then many from here, yeah, because 34. Yeah, please. Okay, thank you.
So usually if I wanted to write an essay, it's usually like my school task. My mom, since I was grade 2, she teaches me how to use mind mapping, usually for like science and stuff. And it makes me easier to think like, if I wanted to make an essay, I usually start with the title and I connected the dots using the mind mapping.
Wow, this is interesting for science.
Yeah, to
Okay.
memorize the stuff.
Okay, so science in this case, for example, connected with the terms also, right?
Yeah.
So that's also help you to do that. Thank you very much then. Okay, who else? Anyone else? Yes, Ali.
Um, since high school, I used to be a debater even until now. So during debate, during case building, we use mind mapping to highlight the main ideas to create argument. And this technique, I also use it for writing. So during composition 1 in our campus, I also did this before. Yeah, basically, you wrote the main idea and then you connect it with the online and stuff. Basically, that's it. Thank you.
My next questions, why mind mapping? Why don't, for example, have you tried the other types of brainstorming?
I've tried some, but I think I found that mind mapping is suitable for me the most. I also try free writing, but I don't know. I feel like the idea stuck in my mind.
Okay.
I cannot put it down in the paper.
Yeah.
So I use mind mapping a lot.
Yeah, so like what we discussed just now, that mind mapping helped us to see the connections between ideas, right? So which one is the key topic, and then later on the subtopic, and also the supporting details for that. That's actually really good to identify and probably later on to help you to write further. Thank you, Ali. Very good. Someone from free writing, please. Probably other situations that you have written for the free writing. Anyone? Okay, thank you. Someone? No? Okay, because free writing is very common, yeah, to some extent. So, okay, we'll continue then. Thank you. So, that's the one then. Next, we would like to learn now how to craft strong academic essay. Now, this one. We just discussed about what you call that, your ideas, their ideas, and in the middle. So if you write down too much using their ideas, after this we would like to see the proportions of that. Maybe in the next meeting, yeah, with Ms. Risma, we'll try to learn about how to conduct the research in this case and what kinds of point that you can cite in order to make it balanced. That's important. But if you sit too much on their ideas, means that you will write down or you try to cite from other sources instead of your own opinion, your idea, that will become like just a summary or kinds of like a report, book report, not necessarily an essay, right? So because that's actually important, it should be balanced. But what about if that too much on your ideas? Nah, these kinds of essay to some extent is not considered as academic enough. Sometimes bluffing. How do you say that? Why can you say this one? Your own personal claim? Cannot. So that's actually why academic essay becomes something considered to be like the ivory towers, which is a little bit, yeah, not connected with daily writing because it takes something unique with this. So, now, what is the balance one? Finding the right balance is actually when your ideas become the foundation and other ideas, scholar ideas, become the supporting details cited here. Okay? So later on, there are some examples that I can share to you. Now, here we can see the proportions of their ideas and your ideas. As you can see here, then their ideas is smaller, has a smaller proportion than your ideas. Why is that so? Because again, a good academic writing should tell you more, tell the readers more actually your own opinion. Of course, then supported by others. Does not mean that we disregard their ideas in this case. No, but this is the, well, I mean that the appropriate one, what is being considered as good academic writing by identifying this, yeah, in the pie chart. Okay, and then here is the general, well, I mean that structure of writing an academic structure. So what is important with the introductory or introductions paragraph? Again, for example, like if you go to bookstores, then right, what to make, how can you attract people in order to buy certain books? Of course, that should be like interesting, for example, picture, cover in this case. The same thing like writing. So there should be what's so called by attention grabber or hook in this case. Yeah. So to make your introductory interesting and then end it with structured, strong, arguable thesis statement. Now, inside the body paragraph that we have done before with the mind mapping as well as the other types of brainstorming, we can develop your point over there, then illustrate, which is related to evidence, yeah, and then the evidence could be taken from data, could be taken from citation, could be taken from text actually, which is being discussed, and the last one, explain. So this is the one which is related to the so what itself. Now explains is how to connect actually your main idea with the citation itself. So that happens for the whole, for at least three, paragraphs. But if you have four, that also okay. Now conclusion paragraph, what is there? In conclusion paragraph, there's nothing new over there. It should be something that has been stated before, especially in the thesis statement. It should be interconnected with that. So that's in a conclusion paragraph. And usually, a good conclusion paragraph is not just reviewing what you have mentioned before, but at the end, there's a kind of like call to action. What do you want your readers do next after reading your essay? So that's actually the key. Now, we would like to see some here. So now let's talk about thesis statement. So thesis statement is considered as the core. This one is become the guidance. Yeah, I mean, they're talking about thesis statement. Many of you are very well familiar with this because yes, thesis statement should present an arguable claim, your claim, outline of the essay. For example, it mentions over there, for example, what will you discuss in the coming supporting paragraphs, at least the keywords. Also, thesis statement should clearly connect with the topic. This is actually telling us about the connections with that and the prompt, the instructions of the assignment itself. Yeah, and it is easy to identify thesis statement because it's stated usually or written on the last part of the introductory paragraph. Now, what is not actually recommended for a thesis statement that is not just about questions itself? What is more important here? Please don't use this vague, unclear phrasing such as using many, some, very, really, kind of, a lot, there are, there is, certain way, today, today's word, society, you, I, and so on, because it is not clear with the claim. What do you want to say there? After this, I'll give you an examples for that. And which is not recommended also, you force the readers to guess what the paper will be proved or discussed next. Actually, it should be clearly stated in your thesis statement. And avoid using confusing languages and also present the fact and definition in the thesis statement because the thesis statement should be a guidance for the readers later on to learn further on this. Okay, so this could be a clue for my class, yeah. How to write down the thesis statement. What is considered as a weak thesis statement and strong thesis statement? Probably later on you can try to consider that when you write down your essay. I want to have a volunteer to read that for me, please. Anyone? Yes, yes, please, Alia.
Okay. Do I read both or?
Yes, both, please.
For the weak one, this essay will discuss the poem The Eagle by Lord Tennyson and explain its use of imagery. And for the strong one, Tennyson transforms the eagle from a bird into a mythic force by employing synecdoche, crooked hens, sublime hyperbole close to the sun, and a definitive simile, like a thunderbolt, crafting an image of natural authority that is less observed and more instantly, overwhelmingly apprehended by the reader.
Okay, thank you. So, what makes the first thesis statement weak here? Because it's very general and doesn't have claim and doesn't have focus in this case. What you're going to discuss is also using the word will discuss. And what is the point that you're going to discuss is not stated clearly over there. So that's actually we need to avoid. Okay? Now, the second one is considered strong because you're clear with what you are going to write down next by stating that. Yeah? So, force by synecdoche, crook hands, sublime hyperbole, close to the sun, a definite simile, yeah, and so on. That's actually probably part of what you are going to write down next in the supporting paragraph. And the claims is clear. Okay? So that's one example for poetry, poem. Okay, next is, nah, here, body paragraph. We'll move to body paragraph. Or is there any questions related to thesis statement first? Maybe? Okay, fine. Yeah, okay, very good. Because thesis statement, indeed, that's always the first that, for example, the readers or probably your professors would like to read in order to know what is your idea over there. Yeah, if the thesis statement is not clear, then yeah, probably big questions. Probably I don't know. 60% of your writing is not clear because yeah of the thesis statement. Now, just now with the in the what do you call it, the pattern or the structure of essay, actually we see 3 points here then what's so called by PIE method. PIE method, that's related to the body paragraph. How should we develop our body paragraph? First is related to kinds of like something which is a clear claim, so P, and then stated the topic sentence and answered the prompt. That's very crucial as the first. Now, illustrate, that's related to data, as I said before. That's related to supporting details. That's related to the citation. That's related to quotations also from the text, for example. So set up, and also that's part of the illustrate. Now, while explain, now this is what I said also, the so what itself. This one is very dominant. And if you see the proportions of this, explanations have the biggest portion. Has the biggest portion here because explanation should not only stated what is written down in the key point, but also connect that together with the illustrations, with the data, with the sources, with the citation and support that you have. So that's the concepts of body paragraph. Okay, oops. Sorry. Hang on. Okay, I'll invite you to go here again. Yeah. Okay, everyone's here, I hope. So let me start. So these questions, yes, related to PIE or pi method for body paragraph. Which component should take the most space? I think this should be easy, yeah, because we just discussed that. Yeah, and the answer is explanation. Okay, some of you answered all three should be equal. If is it equal, then you have to write down more about points and also illustrations. Yeah. Now, once again, why explanation should become or should get the bigger space here? Once again, because it's a connection, combinations of what you have stated in the key point, and then also synthesize that with the sources, with something that you learn from the outside information in this case. Then, so that's why that makes explanations have the bigger portions on this. We'll see who's the highest now. Oh, Alika is there. So, okay. So for these kinds of quiz, it's not only you answer quickly, but also fast. No, correctly, but also fast. Yeah, that's actually the parameter for that. Okay, very good. So we just discussed a little bit about thesis statement and body paragraph. Now, this is a little bit about what is a convincing body paragraph. Yeah, what is convincing body paragraph? So, body paragraph, what is considered good, of course, then it should not only, well, has your idea or key points over there. Of course, then it should be supported, well supported with other ideas. The clear tie of the paper thesis as well as to the paper prompt. I probably this is still like key points. Yeah, after this, then if you see the examples, probably it's going to be clearer then. Topic sentence that states clearly what the body paragraph also here will prove. Yeah, so topic sentence will there, and some specific textual evidence would be also there to support the claim, and clear explanations, connections of that. I think the concepts we have learned, but how to write that indeed. So that's actually become the problem then. Now, here I have two examples of topic, but this is related to the point at first because point itself goes to the issue about claim and positions of the paragraph. Yeah, so because it should be stated immediately in the topic sentence and clearly address and answer the prompt. Now, I want to know which one do you think is better? Is this the first or the second one? I would like to ask another volunteer to read this, please. Can you read it? Is that clear enough? Or maybe from this side? Anyone? No volunteer. Oh yeah, you got it. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
The claim or position the paragraph seek to prove. 2, stated immediately in a topic sentence, usually the first or second sentence of the body paragraph. 3, clearly addresses and answers the prompt. 4, only one per body paragraph. And 5, all information in the body paragraph should come clearly to tie this one major point.
Okay, then try to read the one parts of, well, small part of the body paragraph, and can you see which actually the one related to the point over there? Can you read that for us first?
I could barely see
Oh, you
it.
cannot really see that, yeah? So this is about the restaurant workers before. So restaurant workers such as servers and bartenders are among the only workers within the entire workforce in the United States who have not been included in minimum wages increase. In fact, their hour wages have not been increased by federal law since 1991. But this is about topic which is related to really American and also close to the context of American background, right? Nah, if you pay attention on what is written down, included in minimum wages increases, and then later on we'll try to compare with the second one. If restaurant dinners in the United States want to maintain clean, safe, and relaxing facilities in which to dine, they must support a federal minimum wage increase for servers, cook, bartenders who handle their food and drink. Now, what I want to say here is actually the first one. This is more to kinds of like informations, not really kinds of like a claim that you can see as what is stated in the point. But the second one, if you can see then, yeah, if restaurant dinners of the United States want to maintain clean, safe, and relaxing facilities, so what's to do then? Yeah, they must support a federal minimum wage increase for servers, cooks, and bartenders because they work, for example, very hard, like what we see before. So that's a kinds of like a parts of the claim. So that's why then the second one will be a bit more appropriate rather than the first. Yeah. So that's, well, I'm sorry then probably the writing is a bit hard to read, it's small for that, but yeah, the space should be the other way around. Yeah. Okay. But that's actually related to point. Okay. Next, we will try to continue with what's so-called by illustrate. We would like to see that a little bit more detail with illustration. And yeah, what kinds of illustration or what kinds of samples, what kinds of support, that depends on what assignment from that you got. For example, if is it related to, well, I mean, something which is related to medical before then, for example, that will be very specific and using technical words, definitely, more rather than general words, right? And then in order to write down a good illustrations, again, someone need to read the assignment very careful, yeah? So because that's very important, because maybe research study result, quotes from in-class text or notes or specific authors or types of reference that you have to cite will be, for example, different depending on what assignment that the instructor actually asks you to do. Now, this is the types of that. It's a quote example, statistic, research finding, interviews, expert testimony, opinion, analogies, and survey all become parts of illustrations or examples. Now, in the case of Ophelia, I put the citation there as a part of illustrations. So because that's interconnected with the idea before. So Ophelia, cryptic final words clearly foreshadow her death and illustrate her plan to commit suicide. That's still the idea. Although some readers might be shocked when they read the Ophelia's death, the text does prepare readers for it. How to know that? Ophelia herself alludes to her suicide plan with the last words she utters in the play. What she said? She says, "Come, my coach. Good night, ladies. Good night, sweet ladies. good night, good night. So this citation, yeah, is related to the idea what is stated before. Okay, and then some probably after citation, somehow then you can give comments. Usually one citations is expected to have 2 or 3 sentences for your comments or your what you call it, explanations. Later on after this we would like to talk about the explanations, but up to now that's the citations which is in line to the one that we have before. Okay, question and answer. Is there any questions on this so far? No questions? Oh, I will check that from online. No, also not yet. Okay, so if not, probably I will continue a little bit. Okay, so let's continue a little bit more then. Now, explain. So PIE, explain. So this one is the, well, I mean, the most crucial part then, yeah. So as I said before, explain dominate or has the bigger space for the writing because it will tie together the points and its illustrations. And with a good explanations, it will ensure that your body paragraph clearly answer the question, so what itself. Okay? So how to do that? Usually then you can add something, for example, using also, and further, furthermore. That's actually parts of the expressions. To give examples, definitely for example, for instance, to demonstrate, to compare and contrast. So various, but, yet, to prove. So all of this expression is the starting point for you before you go with the explanations. Yeah, so I give one examples here, but I'm sorry, probably it's what do you call that? It's close with this then, yeah. But what I want to say here is here this part. So from what I said before, the sweet ladies good night, sweet ladies good night, good night. Nah, this is the next or further explanations. Her call for coach exhibit, so tells Ophelia's call for her own death. So that's actually for the what next, the explanations on this. And because she calls for itself, she shows us that she is planning it in herself. Nice. And also clearly a planned suicide and not an accidental drowning. Now, the coach, the keywords, is considered as the metaphor here for suicide, and it is the vehicle. They said that as the vehicle she will use to get her good night. So to finish her problem, to relieve from her problem, then suicide actually is considered as her vehicle. So in other words, her death, the phrase good night comes right after her calling for the coach, the coach to illustrate the connections between, what is that? I cannot really, okay, it should be there then, yeah. So basically that's the one. So further explanation is given, for example, after you cite on something. So that's why then the idea is getting, it's more, well, I mean, it's not only better but also more understandable. Then people can, well, see that this is makes sense and it's very convincing for that, and right? So that's the one. Now, this is the strong inviting opening paragraph, if you can see then, yeah. So introduction should be start from something which is broad, engaging, but ended with thesis statement. On the other hand, a conclusion should come with the restating thesis statement and societal implications or call to action, as I said before. Okay. Nah, this is just a little bit, I mean, reviewing introductory paragraph. Is there any questions on this so far? Okay. No? Come back to how to write an effective opening paragraph or introductory paragraph. Definitely, as I said before, hook or attention getter should be clear over there. So ask with the thought-provoking questions. It could be questions. You can come up with something which is shocking data or surprising data, unbelievable fact, cite and interesting, because again then, in order to make your readers interested and join what you're going to write, then go with something which is also interesting here. So you can come with a problem, you can also describe with a compelling image and also something which is general. Now, like this one then, this is the Simpsons before. If we can look at this, is The Simpsons for Family Guy a greater television program? So that's the kinds of questions that probably intriguing at first. Now, what is next? Yeah, you try to explain a little bit more. Lots of critics have put these shows down for as long as they've been on the air. So, we'll see. Both Peter and Homer are inadequate as leaders and providers for their families, but Homer is overall a good and caring husband and father. However, or whereas Peter is a selfish and uncaring one. So that's actually something which is related to the thesis itself. Okay, so we still have time? It's about the time, yeah. Okay, one last questions. If not, I will give it back to, I know it's something that we can discuss further on this, but probably one questions, if not, if there's questions. Yes, Ali, before we end this.
Well, thanks for the opportunity. Before that, can you back to the previous slide?
This one?
Again? Yeah, this one. In the body paragraph, how detailed should be for you to answer the so what question? Because based on my experience last year, during writing, I always experience, sometimes it's being too much, and the moment I read it again, it's too long. But also somehow in the third body paragraph, it's too short. And I want to ask, how do you trigger the way you think to, to create another question so you can put it there if you get stuck at the moment? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Indeed, an ideal paragraph should consist of 5 to 10 sentences, right? So that's an ideal paragraph. So that's why, for example, if you have one citations, probably you can write down 2 up to 3 sentences for explanations. If it's more than that, probably it will alter the topic. It will alter your focus. So that's why then something that you need to be careful with actually when you develop that one. Not gonna be too long, but it should be more than just one paragraph from the citation. I think that's the key then. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So, without... okay, thank you very much, everyone. I know the time is limited, but I will give it back. Hopefully you learned something a little bit today, and then later on we'll continue that with next sessions, maybe after that, yeah, with Ms. Risma for that. Okay, I'll give it back to the MC. Thank you.
Thank you so much for our amazing facilitator, Pak Eka. Please give a big round of applause. Yes, also, thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. And also, thank you for our partnership for today, AFIS. And yeah, that marks the end of our event for today. And hope you guys get valuable insight from today, especially in writing. And don't forget to also join for session 2 of Ad America Academy on 25th of February to get the certificate. And yeah, earlier on this event, we have a trivia quiz for our online viewers. And the question was, which of the following does not help improve academic writing skills? And the answer to it is B, writing impromptu. And shout out to @Takiuddin from Instagram to answer it correctly. And lastly, to keep update about our upcoming events here at America, you can follow our social media. We are at Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube, AT America. So with that, thank you so much. My name is Meriska, and see you on the next At America event. Bye, everyone.